All right, we should be back, and hope this time there should be audio. I apologize the last time for no audio being there, and I'm going to give you guys just a second here because I know it'll probably be an advertisement that'll be taking place here. In the event you have to drop off a little bit earlier, I am recording this. It will be put back onto the website at dopplerdale.com for you to take a look. I am meteorologist Doppler Dale Bader, and it is a pleasure for me to have you with me this evening as we discuss the very latest with Tropical Storm Isaac. And what you're looking at right now is the enhanced satellite, the infrared satellite right now. And it may be a little hard on your screen to see, but you can notice a bit of a rotation center right in here. And actually in the last few ticks, it looks like it may be trying to lift up towards the north. Now that would be interesting because the motion has been off to the northwest. It had started to go northwest earlier today, and that was the track expected, and it is expected to continue through the overnight hours. But right now that center is basically just south of the border there of the Dominican Republic and with Haiti. It is still over water, and one thing I want you to notice is this brighter red that is right near that center of convection. That is developing an enhanced convection near the center of circulation here. And if you'll notice earlier today, there wasn't a whole lot there. It's been recent that that's developed, probably showing a little bit of a pulse up and maybe some intensification. Latest advisory, which is now going on about 3 hours old, about 2 hours old, excuse me, was 90 miles south-southeast of Port-au-Prince, officially with that circulation, or 270 miles to the southeast of Guantanamo in Cuba. The pressure, which was at 1,004 millibars yesterday when we talked, is now down to 992 millibars. That shows intensification, and in turn, the winds have increased. They were only 40-45 miles an hour yesterday. They are now 65 miles per hour, and the movement has been to the northwest at 315 degrees at 10 miles per hour. And again, it looks like maybe a bit of a jog northward right now, almost due north of the way that satellite looks. It will be interesting to see if that tries to continue, because the track should continue to be off to the northwest as we continue through the overnight hours into tomorrow morning, likely making some landfall. Now, if it moves north, landfall is going to be pretty quick here. It'll only be a couple hours, and it could move in into extreme southwest Dominican Republic. If this trend of a tick to the north continues, it should go back northwest, which would take it across the isthmus of Haiti here. But any little shift northward here could take it closer to Port-au-Prince. Right now, I was anticipating that it would be southwest of Port-au-Prince when it came across and crossed through Haiti. But that northerly tick there we'll have to watch here going through the next couple of hours, at least for down there. And it also would be determining going forward. It would be interesting if that trend would continue for several hours overnight for tomorrow. Right now, the inspection of track would take it up towards Guantanamo Bay as we head into tomorrow. Let's take a look at the big satellite picture. Center of circulation earlier is down here on the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. You can kind of see it popping up there where it's showing the center. Here's Port-au-Prince up in here in Haiti. The isthmus that I'm expecting it to cross. Guantanamo Bay is right here where my little cursor is on Cuba. And if I just show you a track basically at the degree heading of 315 degrees, which is which way it was going, would take it just off to the east of Guantanamo Bay. That would be good for the base, military base there, because it would actually be more of a northerly wind, and the most intense winds usually with these storm systems are on the the east northeast side quadrant part of the storm, which would put it out across this extreme eastern tip of Cuba as we get into about midday tomorrow. I'll flip on over one more time here, and I'm going to show you the latest radar trends coming in from the military base there at Guantanamo Bay. It's actually right in the middle here of your screen is Guantanamo Bay and then the military base. And you can notice that the rainfall is moving west to east right now with that storm system still well down to the southeast of Guantanamo Bay. And again, I expect it to cross the isthmus, come just to the east of Guantanamo Bay, then pretty much hug the coast of Cuba. I'll show you that in the track. Let's go back over to the big picture. I'll drop this out. And I'm going to go ahead and add on here the official Hurricane Center track. This is the last official track from the National Weather Service's Hurricane Center. It tracked it right over the top of Guantanamo Bay. Again, I think it's going to be a bit off to the east of there. And then crossing through Cuba, coming on up towards the Keys, and when I zoom in, it's going to be off closer to the east of Key West itself. So there's the track. I'll zoom in, and you can see that that track is near Stock Island, Sugarloaf Key, Boca Chica Key, where that would cross Key West, being down off to the west, southwest of that track. And then that track takes it on out, keeping it offshore by about 90 to 120 miles. So if you live along the west coast of Florida, you're going to be impacted mainly with rain, a couple, wind gusts, and the possibility of some tornadoes. The system will be within proximity, especially for those of you in southwest Florida, Fort Myers, Naples, possibly as far north there as Tampa. You could get into the possibility of seeing some tornadic activity. It would not surprise me on Monday if you guys do not go under a tornado watch just for that purpose. The track then continues on off right over some very warm waters here. Waters of about 87 to 90 degrees on the sea surface water temperature, and tropical storms and hurricanes really like that warm water. It's fuel to fire them. And then it tracks on up, and the National Hurricane Center's track here, and I don't want it to rotate like that, actually puts it very close to Panama City here, just off to the west of Panama City, putting them right in the brunt of the strongest core winds. Likely going to be a Category 2 hurricane if all goes as expected when it approaches and comes on shore. Now, this is the official Hurricane Center forecast. I don't think it's a bad forecast as a whole. Do think my forecast is a little bit different. I'll go ahead and show you that real quickly here. I can put my forecast on here. That's that orange track. We're very close coming up into Cuba. Again, I'm a little further east of Guantanamo than they are. I do have it crossing the extreme eastern portions of Cuba, but then I have it hugging the coast for quite a while there. The more it's over Cuba, the more the mountainous terrain there of Cuba could interact and actually weaken the storm system some. That would actually help take a little bit longer time for it to regenerate once it gets back over the waters. The track that I have drawn, it's going to have interaction with land, but the center would likely be either right on the coast or just over the waters, which would allow it not to be as disorganized by the time it gets into the Straits of Florida, allowing the opportunity once it hits that warm water to really re-intensify. And it'll probably be a pretty strong, potentially strong tropical storm with winds pushing close to 70 miles an hour there in the Keys. Not a huge deal for them, but it definitely could blow a few things around. And then by the time it's passing it into the eastern Gulf and almost into the central Gulf, likely intensifying to a strong Category 2 hurricane before probably weakening some as it approaches shore where there is some cooler water. It'll probably lose a little bit of its punch, but I still think right now it's going to be a Category 2 hurricane by the time it makes shore. And I'm still thinking within the vicinity of Pensacola, Florida. I said earlier this afternoon in my blog briefing, if you went and read that, within about 50 miles right now of Pensacola, I would say is the target zone, with Pensacola obviously being right in the middle of that. And I saw wavering earlier today in the model runs. I'll put a few of these models on here and show you what I mean. I'm going to put two tracks on here. The dark purple track was a track from about 12 hours ago of the very same model that is in the pink. Now, that purple was more to the west earlier, yes, about 24 hours ago. Then 12 hours ago came east with several other models, and now it's back off to the west and is coming closer and closer to that Pensacola Mobile Bay location there on that track. And I'm going to also put on here the European model, which it has been the most consistent through this tropical season and even with this storm, and did very well with Ernesto several weeks ago, and it's had a very good track record. I didn't jump in with it. Normally I follow the European very closely on my long-range forecast. I didn't jump right in with it a few days ago, and I'm wishing I would have, because I do think it's going to end up being much closer than any of the other models were early on. It has a track right now right into Mobile Bay. Now this model's a little bit older. It takes a little bit longer for this model to update, but you can see that it is west. I'm not quite as far west as the European right now, and based on where it's going to track over Cuba and where I think it's going to track, I don't see it being as far west as Mobile Bay. It's possible, but I don't think it will be there. But again, Mobile Bay would be within that 50-mile zone of Pensacola, so it's a possibility yet that it could be in the zone. One thing I do want to note: these tracks are not set in stone. I've seen the wavering taking place over the last couple of days, so there could still be some trends. The big question mark is going to be, once this storm gets off the Cuban coast, where it will be, how well it's going to still be organized, and which direction it tries to head. Again, there were some models as it came off the coast of Cuba trying to turn it more northerly earlier today, up into southeast Florida, and then turning it more west, northwest, towards Naples, Fort Myers, and then off into the Gulf of Mexico. Right now, though, the very latest model run that came out about an hour ago has trended back west, back close to Pensacola there. A few more now heading up towards Mobile Bay, but if you look at right about where the center of that is, that's heading right on up towards Pensacola. And I think right now the models are picking up on a pretty good trend. But again, until we see really how the system holds together as it leaves Cuba, there's still going to be question marks. And so we'll start to be able to nail things down a little bit better on Sunday afternoon, once that system does get ready to depart, or does depart the Cuban island there, and we can have a better idea on the overall track. That's it for right now. It gives you an update on the very latest. I will take a look at things tomorrow, being that it is Saturday. I can guarantee you I'll do at least one update, probably in the afternoon. I'll try to get something out in the morning with at least a brief update. And I am shooting to do another video update tomorrow evening. I'm not going to commit to a time yet, being that it is Saturday and it is the weekend. We'll see how the day goes as to what time I'll be able to do the briefing, but we will try to do another one. If you have a specific time that works best for you, and several of you that it fits for, I will try to help you out by making it close to that time. So just message me either on my Facebook page or on Twitter, and I'll be glad to get those to you, and I'll also answer your questions that you may have. I'll take a look here at the end of the briefing for those of you that are joining live and answer your questions. Those of you that are watching the video recording later on this, go ahead and leave messages on Facebook. I will be checking it often, and I will be messaging you back just as quickly as possible. As always, I do appreciate you for following my blog and, well, this weather updates. And if there's anything else I can do to assist you guys, please let me know. Have a great evening and stay safe.